Hi guys, welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you the update for January 2026. So to reiterate, why am I doing this? The first idea is my goal is to grow this account by 50% within 1 year. And at the same time, I want to encourage yet small account investors that they can actually start investing towards financial independence by walking through this journey with you. And I also want to show that you can start small and still grow an account. And lastly, of course, to share my insights of what I have learned throughout this period of time. So last year result was fantastic. So this was actually, I started the account since June 15, 2025. And ending the year itself, I have actually performed pretty well. So I think that is a pretty good results that I'm very happy to have. And these are actually the calendar P&L for the month. So from June until December. So I do have a red month in November, just a slight dip. But by December, everything is still back to the green, which is, I think, pretty great results. And I'm pretty happy with it. So started this account on the 15th June 2025 with 10,000. Today's value itself right now is at 14,000 plus. And out of these 14,000 plus, 828 are rewards credits. Then the rest itself is all from my stocks and options trade, which is about 4K. And this is actually the 7 month milestone. Oh, sorry, not 8 month, the 7 month milestone as of now. And if you actually take this, divide by 7 months, that itself will equate to about $572 per month. And in order to get this amount per month, you actually have to invest 137,000 at 5% per annum. But like what I shared with you earlier, this account was only started by just with 10,000, and as of today is actually at 14,000 plus. So we are getting very pretty good returns as of now. So 15 Jan 2026, this is the account update. So as you can see over here, this is actually the account right now in terms of the amount. Cash deployment, I have been slowly utilizing the cash into investments, but as of now, majority of the funds itself are actually still in cash. So you can see that out of this 14,000 plus, 6,000 plus is still in cash in a mix of Sing dollar and US dollar. And the rest itself, I have slowly started to deploy into the market, buying the shares and ETFs. Okay, and taking a look at this is in terms of the current month to date. So month to date, as of now, what we are looking at is that these are actually the performance. Okay, so let's see. Nikkei has started very strong as of 15 January 2026. This return right now is actually at 7+% for Nikkei. Then followed by the blue line is the Hong Kong Shanghai Index. And this orange line right now is actually in terms of my current performance for this year up to the 15 Jan. Then we do have the purple line which is the STI. Then the green line itself will be the CSI, which is the Shanghai market. Then the blue line is S&P. And lastly, let me see, the pink line is NASDAQ. So as of now, I think the S&P and NASDAQ is lagging. I think it has been pretty volatile for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Hence, what we can see over here is that overseas market are actually performing pretty good as of now. Okay, so this is the performance as of right now, which is about 5.7%. I hope that I can sustain the performance until the end of the month and until the next update on the 15th Feb 2026. Okay, for the portfolio itself, I have structured it in a very simple manner, not trying too many things. I try to take a more hands-off approach because I don't trade this account very frequently, just like doing like one trade per week on this account. So I also don't buy individual stocks because I do not really want to monitor too much or maybe in terms of putting too much effort into the stock picking process for this small account challenge. And the idea itself is to make things simple so that people can also follow along. So over here itself is actually VOO, SMH, or QQQM. These are actually my main holdings. So you can see that 22% exposure in QQQM, VOO is about 22.2 or so. So it makes up about near 50%. I do have a SMH over here. Then Tesla is actually a free stock given to me by the Mumu app program itself. Then I do have a bit of like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but however, Bitcoin and Ethereum itself, right, it has dipped quite a fair bit during this recent period of time. But since my position sizing is pretty controlled, I have no doubt that I can just hold it over here, which is not much issue to me. Not going to lose sleep over this. Yeah, and the rest itself is all on my trades. Okay, but looking at the chart right now for the S&P 500, it has been pretty volatile, a bit of whipsaw effect. Market actually has went down, then subsequently recovered. But you do see that there's actually a bit of resistance around here, which is at the price of 689. Then yesterday itself, I think the prices went down. It exceeded the 689, but closed above the 689 again. So far, so good. I think the bullish trend still hold. And over here itself, right, we do see that there's a pretty good support. So not going to be bearish about this market, but more of like trying to observe what is happening and react along the way. And I think some noteworthy news is that we do see that currently gold has been performing crazily, and I think alongside with silver. So it has went up by about 70+% last year, outperforming the S&P 500 Nasdaq, or even I think last year performed very well was Kospi, which is the Korean market, which is also performed at about 70+%. So for the gold itself, but not going to chase this crazily, because ultimately what we can see that is that the price has been like really surging very furiously, and the last thing that we want is to be greedy and start chasing at crazy prices. Okay, and I think the TSMC itself, right, actually delivered a very, very good record quarter, and profit actually jumped 35% fueled by robust AI chip demand. So there's a lot of talk about whether are there an AI bubble as of now. And when you look at company earnings call, this actually give very good indicators of what are we looking ahead. And in fact, I think in the delivery of the earning calls, I think the TSMC, during this sharing, they mentioned that this call itself, right, they mentioned that profits and earnings, right, is projected to continue growing further from 2026, 2027 until up to 2029. So chip demands are at a high, which is great because ultimately means that there's going to be a lot more investment into this. But like what I mentioned, the whole idea is to understand the sentiment and see how do you want to invest and how do you want to trade. But the last thing that you want is to be driven by greed, and you started chasing prices at all-time high. So you might want to wait for some pullback to see if there's any places of entry. Okay, and NATO nations currently deploy to Greenland after tense White House talk. I think the biggest noise right now is Donald Trump giving a lot of talk saying that he want to take over Greenland, and people in the Europe zone, NATO zone, they are very nervous about the whole situation. And this actually also created a bit of uncertainty in the market. But this uncertainty itself, right, you can look at it like both sides of a coin. If there's no uncertainty, you would likely see that the stock prices is going to continue to rise to an all-time high. But when noises like this happens, ultimately, right, these are the chances that you are able to pursue the stocks that you want at good and valuable prices due to the price pullback. So it's something interesting that we can see how this thing unfolds, but any noises like this itself is not going to affect the earnings of the companies, which ultimately will reflect in the stock prices. And one lesson that I want to share during this session is more of like, as of now, a lot of people will think that, oh, okay, market right now is at the all-time high, and why don't I just short the market? But you will never know when will the market starts to move down. Nobody will ever know and be able to make a very good guess and accurate guess. So we want to let the chart to guide us on the decision. So if the trend itself is so at an obvious bullish uptrend, the prices itself above the 50 moving average, above the 200 moving average, prices is obviously at a very strong and bullish uptrend, but a bit of consolidation during this period. So the last thing that we want is to move against the market. So we have to learn to surf with the tide, meaning when the tide is like obviously going at the towards the right, then we want to surf towards the right rather than saying, oh, I wanted to surf to the left because I feel that this tide will go to the left. So not to short the market during prices when the market is still very bullish is something I definitely learned, because I also did some mistakes of trying to short the market, and in the end the trade actually went against me. So that will be all for my sharing today. And if let's say you like videos like this, do hit on the like and subscribe button so that more videos like this will be recommended to you. So I'll see you in the next video.